What's going on, everybody? And we are logging on to episode 110 of the podcast. We are 10 episodes in finally since we rebooted this thing.
Jesus.
Yeah, crazy. Even because we were doing twice a month, I thought it would feel slower, but it still went by just as fast.
Yeah, it's still flying by.
It is still flying by. It's crazy. I am your host, Frank McKnight, joined by always my co-host, Luke Gans. Thank you for being here. And we're going to get right into it. One of the first things I wanted to say was that it has, since this is the last podcast of the year of 2022, I just wanted to say what an incredible year it's been for the channel.
Crazy.
We had a major jump in subscribers. We had our first TikTok go viral. It's right now at 7.2 million views, which is incredible. That's where most of the subscribers came from too, I'm sure of. But I just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching, and we really appreciate it, and we're going to keep on moving forward. We got a very special video coming out on January 1st with a whole bunch of announcements, so stay tuned for that. Not only has it been a good year for the channel, but it's been a pretty good year for movies as well.
Yes, it's been pretty solid.
Pretty solid, I would say.
Solid.
So with that said, I was thinking we bring up our favorite movie of 2022.
Dune.
What? Dune. Is it Dune?
Yeah.
It is Dune.
Yeah.
It's a great choice.
Yeah.
It's a great choice.
I'll keep it easy for you.
All right.
It's going to very much involve my next list, too, so, we'll...
Oh, yeah,
we'll be in and out.
For sure. My favorite, it has to be Top Gun Maverick, to be honest with you.
So I loved Top Gun Maverick. I thought it was awesome. I mean, it was... So... I think Top Gun Maverick also worked really well because as how I always view movies is like, I am going to like something like Tenet, where I would never, ever recommend it to my family.
My
dad would have no fucking clue what's going on in not even a disrespectful way.
Right.
Just would your parents? Probably not. They're gonna watch it. They're gonna be like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And not to say that you should have more simplistic movies or anything like that, but number one, Top Gun had the nostalgia factor, of course.
Big
but
time.
it was also visually beautiful.
Amazing, yes.
And it was an awesome movie. The script was great. It was fast-paced the whole time. There was nothing that made you feel like, was that? The only part I complain about is the football scene.
Yeah.
It's the only part I complain about because it's like...
It's their bonding scene,
but there's no defense.
There's no defense. Yeah.
It's just too. That could be a whole episode, so I'm not even going to go into it. But I mean, it would easily be in my top 5. It was fantastic. I loved it. It was a really good movie. I mean, it broke stupid records, I think, right?
Stupid records.
Yeah.
It was one of those movies I wish I saw in theaters, especially in IMAX.
Yeah, it was a great...
I ended up seeing it on, I think,
HBO,
Paramount Plus or something like that when it came out there.
Wasn't it HBO at first?
I don't think it was HBO. I think it was Paramount or something like that.
Whatever works.
Either way, I still enjoyed the hell out of the movie.
Yeah.
I was so pleasantly surprised by it because this was a movie I didn't think they should have even been making in the first place, to be honest with you.
So I think time-wise, it was longer than I expected it to be until they made a remake. And I'm always like a remake hater to a degree where I'll be like, do we need it? Do we not need it? Right?
Yeah.
But I think it just worked well with like how CGI works now, how filming works now. Because again, I'm not going to say CGI because I don't know how much is actually CGI'd. And
I think a lot of it, as far as the plane's flying, is filmed. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like... I think visually it works awesome because of how technology works with filmmaking now.
For sure.
Where I think as much as I think a lot of people, and I probably even would have been like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But then when we saw it, we were like, okay, this makes sense why this is a thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
No, but ultimately, dude, it was awesome.
And dude, it was just a feel-good movie.
Yeah.
It was such a feel-good movie.
It was really awesome because it also wasn't that it wasn't a, like... super threat, because of course it was, but there wasn't like crazy battle scenes, which I am always a big fan of.
Yeah.
But it made it almost more intense because you weren't seeing, they lost this battle, they lost this whatever, right?
The stakes
it was
weren't as crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were crazy, but
were.
it was to a degree where you didn't see it as like, oh my God, I'm seeing this violence right in front of my eyes kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
that was definitely an awesome factor of it all. And
Yeah.
That was definitely.
I was just shocked by it. I absolutely loved it, and that's probably why it is my favorite movie of 2022. With that said, our poll of the pod that we put up the other day was, what was your favorite movie released in 2022? So, we do have a definite winner here.
Okay.
Of 2 votes, and I'll say that last, but everything else on this list got 1 vote. Jackass Forever, that movie X.
Yep, great movie.
With, what's her name, Pete Davidson and Jenna Ortega, right? Isn't that what X is?
Yeah, but it's, and Kid Cudi's in it too. No.
Is that, I'm thinking something different?
Pete Davidson's not an X. Kid Cudi is. Pete Davidson's in Bodies.
Correct. Yes. Thank you for correcting me there. Yep.
No problem.
Another one is Hustle.
Yep.
Didn't see that. No. Don't Worry, Darling made it onto this list with the vote. I heard very mixed things about that.
No comment.
Interesting.
No comment.
Nope. A movie I do want to see eventually.
Yep.
Haven't seen it yet, though. The Gray Man, I was also surprised this one made it on the list. The Russo brother, I think, directed film with Chris Evans and Gosling.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either, but it's a Netflix movie, so right away it's like, yeah.
Well, it's a Netflix movie, you know what? And I really don't want to sound like a movie snob right now. But
Go ahead, do it up.
I love when people recommend a Netflix movie to you, and they're like, yo, you gotta watch this.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
Okay. What was your favorite movie this year? And you'll get whatever, and you're like, okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
For the record, though, Netflix still does put out, again, I've said this all the time, Netflix's content problem is they put so much out that, when the shows hit, everyone focuses on it, but, no one is focusing on the bad shows, and there's tons of them.
Yes.
But, hey, I've always been, a Netflix hater, so, I'm not, the right person to do it. I like the quality of, again, Ozarks. I like... Stranger Things. Yeah. Wednesday was awesome.
Oh, I
haven't seen Wednesday. It's fantastic.
I heard that's
loved it.
A step up of a CW show.
No, I think that person's an idiot.
I think a lot of people said that though.
They're dumb.
Okay.
It was in my opinion, it was a feel good show, and it's a Tim fucking Burton show.
I know. I love everything that Tim Burton does anyway, and
Jenna Ortega, from CW.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. The kiddish high school drama
that's
type
what
of
it's
shit.
supposed to. That's the whole point
That's
of it.
Her age. I get it. I totally get it.
I will fight you in person if you want to come through.
And the last thing on the list that got 1 vote was Everything Everywhere All at Once, a movie that I've still yet to see too.
I have yet to see it, but everyone tells me it's
incredible,
amazing. So yeah, that's where I'm.
And for an independent film, it broke plenty of its independent film records as well, which is great. I love to see it. The one that got 2 votes and the winner of the poll of the pod is The Batman. Hey, I love to see that as well.
It's my number 2. It's there. I've said it on record, and I do really think it puts up a fight with Dark Knight. I don't necessarily have to go out there and say it wins. I think, it was different. I guess it's just that it's different, and I like that it's different. It's not what you wanted it to be, and that's why I like it. Everyone wanted it to be Robert Pattinson, blah, 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 blah. It's supposed to be gritty. It's supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be dark. It's supposed to be depressing. Yes, it's supposed to be that way. Yeah. A year ago, someone wrote an article and said, he was trying to be a Kurt Cobain Batman.
Correct.
And I love that, adaptation of, he's the millionaire kid that's got everything, but he's just, such a depressed, I won't say depressed because I don't want to offend anyone with, depression issues and things like that. I'm not trying to say it that way. But, he's just dark, everything he does has a dark side to him. He doesn't see positivity in things,
Correct.
that kind of mentality or adaptation or whatever. Yeah. It would be a 1B for me too. I just think Dune was beautifully done. I think the cast was amazing. The cinematography in it is stupid.
Yeah.
I think if you don't like Dune, we have to have a conversation. Again, you're allowed your preferences, and part of the next year's list, part of it for me is going to be, of course, superhero movies. So no shit, it's going to, some people are going to be I don't like that. But at the same time, Dune is just, if you like that sci-fi kind of element to it, it is just fantastic. It's just so well put together.
The world building is incredible in that movie. The casting was incredible in that movie because everyone did so well in it. And the lore, I know they were books, but the lore is just fantastic. And when I saw that movie, I thought that was going to be my favorite, right after I saw it until more movies came out.
Here's the other thing. I'm also a whore for, the like I don't want the score.
Oh, me too.
The music behind it was like every scene that you had was amplified right off the bat because of the sounds of it. Like, yes. I still, to this day, like, I'll watch TikToks or videos or Instagrams. Like, I was on YouTube the other day watching the fight scene oh my God, I was just...
The war, like, more towards the end.
What's his name? Daytona. Fuck. Oh, my God. Jason Momoa's character, which his name is something...
Yes. Well, we're getting... I mean, I don't care if we get into spoiler territory.
Oh, I mean,
right that's when he passes away, right?
Yes, when he protects Timothée Chalamet, he has that fight scene. But, like, the concept behind the fights, that you have to stab slow and not fast to get through their shields. Like, it's is cool. It's such a good fucking movie. Yeah, it's cool. God, I love it.
I remember you were saying it was, like, a while back, like, when it first came out on this podcast, this is what Star Wars should be. I remember you said something along those lines.
And that's why all of you idiots, and I'm not trying to be mean. I love everyone. I love everyone that listens to this podcast, regardless if we have the same like beliefs or not. Like, it does not matter. Anyone that does not like Andor is a dummy.
You see, I'm not gonna watch Boba. Andor, I heard, is amazing.
Andor is visually fantastic. The script is amazing. It's broken up into sequences that make it feel like something. Star Wars fans, Den of Nerds, they'll never see this, so it doesn't matter to me. And then I don't even know the other bald guy. They're huge Star Wars fans, and I've always liked their content. I've always
I saw you tweet about
when they were going at all the original movie. You know, when they were tweeting about 7, 8, and 9. There's spoiler leaks. There's this. There's that. Yeah. They were putting all this stuff up, and I always was backing it. I was like, oh, I love this. I want to know more. They shit on Andor to the point that made me so frustrated, because this is where Star Wars fans become the most toxic fan base. And it's the fact that we are sitting here and they are grown-ass men complaining about there's no lightsabers.
Right.
There's no... Bro.
It could be different, man.
Star Wars does not need to be on fucking Tatooine about a Skywalker.
Correct.
Like... That is the good thing about Clone Wars. When you watch the full thing of Clone Wars, no. Is Clone Wars from start to finish a masterpiece? No. There's great arcs in it. Excuse me. There's great arcs in it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch. There was one arc in the last season. I was like, oh my God, that was terrible. That's not a masterpiece, but that's okay. It's still part of the lore.
Yeah.
The fact that people can get aggravated over what is going on with this is so stupid, because it's like, how are you able to sit there and be mad that we're, number one, getting content at all,
Correct.
Star Wars content.
Correct.
Number two, it's world building us something different, which again, I've said since this podcast has been out, since Rogue One has been a thing, I loved Rogue One because it was different. I loved Rogue One because it was showing how the Empire's fall started. That first chip in the system of they got the plans to the Death Star, boom, here's episode 4.
Great movie, yeah.
It is such a good movie because it tells that. At the beginning, I was concerned about it. Of course, like I was terrified of Andor. Andor. I was like, I don't know. Like, this isn't an established character, so I don't know how people are going to react.
Yeah,
it was done perfectly. It is so good. It is, in my opinion,
better than Mando?
It might be better than Mando. And I love Mando. I really do. It's fantastic. It's got exactly what we want it to be. But Andor is the little bit darker of what we needed in Star Wars.
Cool.
It's showing us what the Empire is, which is a terrible organization.
Yeah.
It's showing us how easy it was to a degree for the rebels to get in there, because they're like, no one would even recognize it because the Empire is just so fat and stupid to recognize it. And Andor's character arc is just so well done, and it's just, it looks great. It's ran great. The script is great. The characters are great. It's just,
and it was a good amount of episodes too.
And it's a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
And it really aggravates me because, again, it's like we are finally like out of the times of 7, 8, 9. We're done with it. It's gone. We can finally build our own path of, we can get Mando, we can get Jedi Fallen Order, the new Fallen Order game coming out.
That trailer
March 17th. Just came out.
Yep.
We can finally get all these new steps in the right direction, and they can still story tell off certain things, but like break off of this same path. But we don't know, besides the books and the lore there, how the Empire got to where it was and then how the Rebels started. Give us that. Mon Mothma is a main character. We have not yet to see her because in Rebels they rescue her and she's the leader of the rebellion. Mon Mothma. Okay. She's a senator right now in Andor. So next season is probably going to be when she finally breaks off. I really don't want to keep raving about it because I loved it, but it really aggravates me because it's not just a good Star Wars show. It's just a good show in general. That's what I've been hearing. Yes, that's what I've been hearing. Yeah, it's very good, and I'm very aggravated that people don't like it.
I saw, speaking of those guys you were talking about, one of them, I saw a video of when Luke Skywalker first appears.
And he cried.
And I'm like, wow, this guy's a Star Wars fan now.
And I actually backed him when that happened because a lot of people were like
mad that he was reacting.
People were just like, oh, he's being dramatic. Oh, he's doing whatever, right? Like, and I get it.
I didn't see
but like,
that.
Listen, that's a childhood character of yours. You know, like imagine the kid that watched Iron Man die. That was born in that time, and the first movie he ever saw was Iron Man, and that's his favorite character. You know, like if I was a little bit younger when Episode 3 came out, I probably would have cried when Anakin turned to the dark side. You know, I mean, it brings on emotion. So I supported him there, but now I'm done. I've unfollowed him on block. Like, and it's to the point that everyone is entitled to their opinion.
Of course,
everyone's entitled to their wrong opinion as well.
Yeah,
but it gets me to another level of just like, when you're supposed to be the people at the front of the helm for Star Wars and you're shitting on something that 90% of us like.
Yeah.
And even the critics are liking. People that are not just Star Wars fans, it's starting to seep into their everyday life. People are starting to watch it. Like, people are starting to enjoy it. And you have the audacity to go out there and, like, shit on it because it's not laser swords.
Yeah, right. That's ridiculous.
And again, it's just like... like, and their reasonings are all like, you know, like the script is not good, the storytelling, and I'm like, this is all inaccurate. Like, this is all just dumb. So I'm convinced they're pawns in some bullshit because I Lights, Camera, Barstool, they liked it. All these different everyone else liked it. Yeah. They're like the only people that I know that didn't like it, and it aggravates me so much because it's like, how are you gonna sit there?
Yeah.
And say all of this negativity when we finally are able to reset and take a step. Book of Boba wasn't that great, but I supported it because I'm like, you know what? It's still Star Wars content. Sure. It's still something more than we've gotten. I like that. Yeah. I want more. I don't care. Mando. I've loved Mando. People have made the argument that it's a very fan servicey. Yeah, okay, but sure. I enjoy it too. It's fine.
Yeah.
The Obi-Wan show, 100% was it fan servicey? Yes. Did they rush it out? Yes. They should have made it closer to Andor, darker like that, but it is still in my top 10 of Star Wars content that I've gotten when it comes to scenes, single-handed scenes. The Anakin and Obi-Wan duel,
I saw the
where the clip of that is, it gives me chills.
Powerful.
It is one of the most intense things where the bad of the show, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the bad of the show when all I can do is watch that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with how I feel with Episode 2. When I watch Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, I skip all the way to the battle scene on Geonosis when they're in the place.
Yeah.
I love that scene. I love that from that point on in the movie. So, it just aggravates me because it's like people will just shit on what they can shit on, and that's part of our job being, movie critics.
Yeah, right.
Whatever you want to call us.
For sure.
But, it's just super aggravating because it's like, all right, yep, of course, another reason for people to complain. But
I got other things I wanted to bring up quickly before we get into our main topic. One, major DC news just came out. Anyway, and this is me every time on the podcast. But anyway, got to talk about it because as much as it could be a heartbreaking thing for some of the things they said, I think it's going to be for the better overall future of DC.
Yeah.
But there have been false promises with DC in the past as well. James Gunn, I do trust in you.
Yeah.
But I do have trust issues with DC right now. That's it.
You could have just said period.
Yeah.
I just have trust issues.
Wonder Woman 3 canceled. I'm kind of pretty happy about that, to be honest with you.
It was whack because the first one was so good,
and then the second one was trash.
So bad. But again, I've died on that hill of the fact that the first one was so good that I think it really did hurt the second one as well. Like, I think because the expectations...
But the second one was also just a bad
No, it
movie.
is not a great movie, but the second one's expectations are so high because
100%,
the first one was the
100%.
first... Not the first DC movie good, but, like, for casual fans that aren't Man of Steel fans or whatever, they were like, oh my god, this movie's good, Wonder Woman's good.
Right.
And then the second one came out and was like, oh.
Yeah.
Right. You know,
so I'm not I'm not too surprised that it got canceled. Mm-hmm. I'm also not too sad that it got canceled. Aquaman 2 will probably be the last of the Aquaman franchise, and the rumor is right now they are recasting Jason Momoa as Lobo in the DC universe. Lobo is this, and he looks like Lobo too, which is cool. Long hair, this alien-like guy is like a bounty hunter or
I've
something
seen him
like
before.
That. Yeah.
But, so...
What I'm thinking they're doing, and they haven't announced this yet, this isn't confirmed, they're rebooting the whole universe. And this also brings up my next thing that they also brought up in the Hollywood Reporter story or Variety story. Man of Steel 2 is kind of in limbo right now and might not even happen.
Which is bullshit.
That's the only thing.
Which is bullshit because
about.
He got pulled from the fucking Witcher.
Well, I've been hearing that's not why he left The Witcher, because he was returning as Superman. Apparently, Henry didn't like the direction that The Witcher is going in.
That breaks my heart because I fucking love that show.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think Liam Hemsworth is a great replacement for Geralt, but okay, whatever.
I mean, I guess we'll see, but like, I do, when they did it, I was like, oh, okay, that's not even
right. Yeah,
I don't want to get into it too much because obviously DC is not my thing, but I just don't understand. I don't understand DC redoing it. Like, why?
I think it's a good thing that they do the hard reset button.
But if they do a hard reset, like, they're already so behind on the like the ball.
You're right,
but you have characters that can survive in the universe right now. You know what I mean? So, like, why are you going to restart?
Here's the problem. They could continue if they wanted to, this universe.
Yeah.
But there is so much baggage, bad baggage, from the past.
No, I mean,
universe,
I get that.
It's hard to make a successful, connected, linear story with all the characters with so much shit that happened in the past that either don't add up or just wasn't good. So I think they're hard resetting it. If they do, I will be sad Man of Steel 2 isn't happening with Henry, but I think it'll be worth it.
I mean, you know, we'll wait and see.
Course.
I don't, I guess, support it at this point because it's 2023. And again, I'm not a DC fan, so, like, I understand how you're more passionate about, like, do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, Henry Cavill can still be Superman. Gal Gadot can still be Wonder Woman. Like, these people can still be these people. So why would someone like James Gunn not be putting those people on the back burner right now, letting your other characters breathe and grow because you have something good in Peacemaker, you have something good in Black Adam. Not really, but right. You know what I mean? Like, you have certain things that you can still keep alive, right? Because what's his next goal going to be? The movies that come out next after Flash, after all these things are done, what comes out next? They don't have a plan for it yet, right?
No, the last thing before I think they're doing this hard reset is Aquaman 2.
So, but that's where I'm saying, it's like, why don't, after Aquaman 2, why don't you just take some of those other characters, like make another Suicide Squad or make a... Because that Suicide Squad was good, the second one.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it wasn't. I thought it was amazing. Yeah.
But, so it's like, but why don't you try to focus on that for a second and let them kind of breathe... And then don't put them in their own single movies because...
You want to know why, Luke?
But what are you going to do? You're going to do Suicide Squad and then you're going to make another Man of Steel with fucking Liam Hemsworth as Batman, as Superman?
They've already have been on the back burner and they already have been breathing a lot.
I know, but
they haven't been on screen for a very long time.
But you can do... I just... Ezra Miller recast, fine. Like, you know, because you have to. You have to. Certain recasts you can do, but why are you going to go do a whole new thing? Like, I understand that James Gunn taking it over, he wants it in his own direction.
Yeah.
But, like, imagine if after this phase of Marvel, because it wasn't good, imagine they were just going to restart. Of course, it's a different story because they have all of this weaved in work.
Yeah.
But it's like... DC's had so many, oh God.
But that's what I mean by the baggage.
And listen, Suicide Squad worked.
Yeah.
But they also kept certain things in place. So why are you not going to do that with it, right? Flash, not going to work, gone. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I mean, if Lobo...
I think he's one of the best parts of this
But that's what I'm
DC
saying.
universe.
So why are you going to go recast him into another person?
There's plenty of people that it's a shame that they're going to go if they do hard reset it, like Henry Cavill Superman, Margot Robbie Harley Quinn, which I think is perfect casting. I understand your point.
And that's
I understand your point.
Oh, God. But it's not just like a movie person. I'm like, when you sit there, like, as much as you can reboot it, right?
Yeah.
Why would you not just take it and be like, all right, like, from this point on, we're not going to see Superman for years? That could be a fucking storyline. You haven't seen Superman. Superman's gone.
And keep on hinting.
You could literally be like, the Justice League is gone. They all left. Like, you could literally make it that, like, Aquaman's last fight, they all tried to get involved, and they all got fucked up so bad that they all had to go take time off. Like Thor did after fucking Thanos. He went into fucking exile. You could literally do that with all of those characters, introduce all of these people, do it the right way. But again...
I understand your point. I'm still with the hard reset though, but we'll see what happens. Last thing, and I want your opinion on this quickly. The Walking Dead did end. Your thoughts, please. This could be the last time The Walking Dead is brought up since it's over now.
Nope.
It's not really over.
It's
never over, actually. But let me know your thoughts about the finale.
When I tell you, I'm just like. I'm so hurt
by the finale. It wasn't good.
No, it was terrible. But I'm so hurt because it's so much like DC, where they just have no fucking clue what they're doing. No offense,
okay,
but they don't. They're just. I'm not even gonna dox people of the show. Listen, I've stayed loyal to them, but you talk to so many people that are like, we stopped after episode season 7.
Yeah.
Why did you not think that it was going to be a smart idea to have a really good last episode?
I didn't think it was going to be good.
I didn't either, but why didn't you think it would be a smart idea to do that, for the last season? They set it up so bad, though, for this season that there was, again, I said this from the beginning, we went into this last season of The Walking Dead where I'm like, there is so much unresolved.
Right.
That what's going to happen. It got to the end and only 1 or 2 characters, died. Mm-hmm. And they're not even main characters where I was like...
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
What the fuck? And I'm okay with the characters not dying. Not dying, but
Yeah,
it was literally Daryl rides off on his motorcycle and then they show at the end of it, because originally it was supposed to be Daryl and Carol in France. They're going to France. I don't know how the fuck they get there, but they're going from Georgia to France.
Okay.
But I'm fine with him. I've always liked Norman Reedus as Daryl. I think he's one of the only good characters in it. I've always liked Andrew Lincoln as Rick. Yep. So that's fine too. And I've always liked Michonne. They're good characters.
Correct.
Yeah. But it's just the direction of the show is so bad, man. The story's terrible. So bad, and it could be so good.
Yeah.
Guess what? They're still making shows about zombies, right?
Correct.
Right?
5 of them are the Walking Dead series.
Yep. So why is a show like The Last of Us about to just come out now, which again has an infrastructure of a game and has a crazy following?
Right.
How are they able to do it on HBO Max to the degree that they're going to be? Now again, HBO and AMC are completely different.
Right.
But how are you have fucking 14 seasons, 13 seasons, 12 seasons of content to go off of?
Right.
And they've got a video game. Again, different production companies, more money.
Well, The Walking Dead has its comic.
Money
I know. I'm sorry, but I was very curious to know your thoughts because we haven't talked about this yet.
It was. I'm very aggravated over it because it's just I gave it the other chance and I started it back up, and again. Everyone that I talk to says the same thing, right? After season 7, it's bad. It is. The writing is bad, but there's still good to it. Like I told you, the Whisperers is literally people that wear the skin of zombies and walk with them. That is fucking
sick.
Awesome. Sick. As much as you can like or dislike Negan was an awesome character.
Yeah, I liked him.
They wrote his character arc terribly, but then... Once he became the good guy, that's in the comics. He doesn't becomes a good guy, doesn't become a good whatever. But he it was fine. But it's like you wrote these people off and you focused on like the wrong characters and you focused on like the wokeness of it. And it wasn't even that it was like super woke, but it was like you focused on all these other characters instead of building the cohesive like storyline of the war. Like even the Negan battles, bro, they were like raiding like fucking like TV radio stations. They were killing everyone inside of it. There was nothing there. Now they're fighting the zombies, and the third portion of the season that had a delay before it like started that last couple episodes. Yeah. There was so much before that started that needed to get introduced. Now, at the end of Fear the Walking Dead last season, I think it was just the last season that ended, they had like a post-credit scene of like someone in France that was like talking about the virus spreading, and then a zombie runs. The
variant zombie. Yeah, I heard
about they introduced it with like 5 episodes left. You can have like turning door zombies, climbing zombies. With 5 episodes left, they introduced that. So again, they're setting it up for, Rick and Michonne's thing, but it's super aggravating because it's like you had everything in front of you to make it good, and you just never wanted to like branch off of what you wanted to do. Like they were like, no, we're gonna just do it our way, and it was not the right way.
I'll tell you what, I stopped watching The Walking Dead a long time ago, but I will definitely be tuning in for the 6-episode series of Rick.
Yeah, I will. 100%.
I loved Rick.
I'm very excited to see that, but it's super, super frustrating. I did want to really quickly also say I was right prior to this. I was at a Target.
Yeah.
This is going to drop on what, the 19th. Yeah. All right, so like there'll be a couple days left. Please, 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 as someone that used to work in retail, please don't be a cocksucker this holiday, please, because as much as I get frustrated when I'm at these places, right? Number one, you made the conscious decision to go to one of these places with a month left, less than a month left till Christmas, 16 days,
right,
till the holidays or Christmas, however you celebrate. You made the conscious effort. Now. For older people, this gentleman was older. He was an older gentleman, and he was punching the screen of the self-checkout because he wasn't reading the description correctly. He was getting aggravated, and the girl came over to assist him. Now, again, 35 people at least in line. Yeah. Every line is packed to the gills. It's a madhouse. I get the frustration. I get it.
Crazy.
I get it, but do not, bro. Don't be disrespectful. If a person's being an asshole, bro, be an asshole. I'm okay with that because there's a lot of retail people that are terrible, and part of the problem, not to get political, not to get whatever, ageist, whatever. A lot of the problem is that younger kids don't want to work retail where we did. I got my ass kicked in retail, not literally,
right.
But I'm talking my bosses in retail taught me amazing life lessons. Like, amazing life lessons. Same thing with, like, playing football. I did not play. I was not great at football then. I'm good at football now, which is fucking insane to me. Like, I understand how to play it at 27 fucking years old now. So funny. Like, I play in a flag league, like a competitive league and shit. Yeah. So it's funny, because I'm good now. But I wasn't. And I'm like, God damn it, bro. What's wrong with you? But ultimately, it's like, people need to realize, like, systems are slower.
Yeah.
Inventory is lower.
Everyone's
working long hours.
Yeah.
Everyone is confused. Everyone is bothered. Do you think anyone wants to work during the holidays?
Of course.
This is the same argument I make. Bro, I am very good and very friendly with the Starbucks at Cranford, in Cranford Station in New Jersey. They have one of the best staffs I've ever seen at a Starbucks. Yeah. They're all great people. They're amazing. They actually give a shit, which is awesome.
Cool.
So I'll give them a shout out. But with them, I am like, and I've said this story before, like, one time their store is closed, they just remodeled it, and they were in another store. A lot of them were in this Westfield location. They were delayed. Things happen, right? Like, life happens, and sometimes you have to open late.
Yeah.
There was a guy outside the store, like, pissing and moaning about the fact that they were open late, and he, like, made a comment towards me, and he's like, don't you think this is fucking ridiculous? And I'm like, well, no, because, like, we all have things that happen in our lives. And I was like, it was like 10 o'clock or whatever. I'm like, are you going to be late to work today? He's like, I'm right down the road, though. But I'm like, yeah, but it's 10 o'clock. Like, you're going to be late. He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, you made the conscious decision to come get a coffee.
Right.
Right. Like, you're the one spending money on a $7, $6 coffee. I love Starbucks. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But do not sit there and, like, if someone's an asshole, be an asshole.
Right.
That's okay.
Right.
But, like, do not piss and moan, especially to me, because I like the people and I understand when shit happens. They were super understaffed.
Yeah.
So he said, and I was like, bro, like, I'm friendly with the employees here. So, like, you're talking to the wrong guy. I was like, you asked the wrong person for this, example.
Right.
But it's like, look, Don't be a dickhead when you go to buy your $6 coffee and they mess it up. They are regular employees just like us. They are people that have to go home or go to work or do whatever, just like us. So when you're considering being a dick this holiday season because of it, don't be. Yeah. Because when I tell you these retail workers are not being paid enough money to deal with like you being a cocksucker, they're not. And it aggravates me as someone that worked retail for 10 years.
Yeah.
And even now I work in the attractions landscape, so I still see it, I still see how people can act. But it's like, please, for the love of God, like, do not be someone this year that makes someone else's life hard. Because during the holidays, people are either high or they're low.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you going at the Starbucks employee because of whatever, you don't know where they're at right now with the holidays. So don't be that guy because you're my venti extra large latte with a double splash of...
Yeah.
Ask them politely to fix it and they will.
Right.
Bro.
Like, it's simple as that. No reason to be.
And if you really don't want to be confrontational, then call fucking Starbucks customer service and talk to them.
Yeah, right.
Because they'll help you out.
Sure.
But it's like, again, it really sent me somewhere because then when the lady originally at Target left the line and she like turned back to like come assist with us and tell us where to go, I literally looked at her. I'm like, happy holidays.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not even fucking making this story up. Like, I'm dead ass. I'm a decent person. I swear to God. So, but it's just like, it's shit like that where it's like, yo, how miserable do you have to be? And again, I get the frustration with elderly or older people not understanding technology the same way, but there's an easy solution to that, and it's called get in the fucking line.
Exactly.
Get in the line that an attendant's going to be at. If you really don't want, if you're in a rush and you don't want to deal with that, bro, how many times have you been in a self-checkout and it's pissed you off? A million, right?
Sure, yeah.
Please put the item in the bagging area.
Wait for assistance. Yeah,
It pisses me off all the time, 100%. But guess what? I'm not like, go fuck yourself. Where the fuck is my help?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give them a second. And if you're nice, they're going to be nice to you. And if they're not, then it's like you don't know what they're dealing with. So it's like, all right, it is what it is. But like I've said, if they're going to be an asshole, then all right. If you give them a little attitude back, they can't be like, why are you being rude, sir? It's like, because you're being rude.
Yeah.
But if you're just going to be there and you want to just be an ass to be an ass, like, don't pick hourly workers to do it to.
Yeah.
Make it your family for all I care, But I really I needed to vent that out. I needed to get that out in the air because it really pissed me off today. And I was like, you know what?
Well, I like it. It was a good public service announcement anyway for the holiday season as well. It's a good lesson to be learned.
But I did want to do, on our list, you have 5, I have 5.
Correct.
I do have one thing. I'm gonna say my intrigued list. I don't want you to respond.
Well, I
to
have
anyone.
an
Cool.
honorable mention list too.
I have an honorable mention. I have one that I'm not interested in.
I have a couple that I'm not interested in either.
What is it?
I got 4 of them. The Marvels.
Okay.
Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
I mean, I don't even think about that.
Fast X.
Oh God.
And Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Okay, so Indiana Jones is on my interested because I think they could listen, it needs to be done, but like I think they could maybe, because I think they saw Crystal Skull and they were like, that didn't work.
Maybe they were thinking.
Shout out Shia. I love Shia. That's my boy. Yeah, but so mine is Flash.
As what? Not interested?
Not interested at all.
Okay, gotcha.
I would personally love to watch it just burn.
Okay.
Like,
I don't have that on any of my lists.
I'd love for DC to take the film and just like light it up. That would be a great PSA for James Gunn.
I agree.
For the ones that he like doesn't like, just like take the film and just burn it.
I agree.
That'd be badass to do too. I'd be like, yeah, fuck you guys. So my other interesteds are Wonka.
Yeah. Okay.
Little Mermaid. Because I'm going to watch it out of spite for all you assholes that are, like, pissing and moaning about, like,
Gotcha.
The Little Mermaid being African-American.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my bad. The mermaid.
The mermaid, right.
The mermaid.
Yeah.
In the mouse universe.
In the mouse universe.
In the mouse universe.
Yeah, right.
Is African-American, and we're all mad.
Come on.
You can make the argument that I will make the argument I didn't want it because I don't want like that portion of the cartoons has now not been diluted, but like those movies are great as cartoons and they should have stayed at that. But
and not even make live action to begin with.
Yes,
correct.
Like Lion King shouldn't have been Jungle Book.
No.
They're great movies. Now, other side of the coin, money.
Of course.
Money.
That's the only reason.
So that's the only reason. So I get it, right? Like I understand it.
Yeah.
But like when I ask my kids, like if my daughter or son down the line wants to watch it, like yeah, you can watch it. But like here's also the other one. Yeah. Now look, they might not like it because by the time we have kids, CGI might be insane.
Correct.
So Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
But on the other coin, it's good to be like, well, that's my one, but not be like, that's my one. I won't watch.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. It is what it is. But Mario,
as interested. Very cool.
Interested.
Cool.
Not as much voice cast wise as we've probably talked about on the show. I think there's a lot of really good voice casts. I think the Chris Pratt one has proven that it couldn't be good.
Okay.
I'm a big Chris Pratt fan. We got into a little, not an argument at all. We got into a conversation the other day about Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
As much as people might like or dislike Chris Pratt, the one thing I respect him for is he speaks his mind and he speaks his beliefs.
Absolutely.
As much as he's going to push that on you, he's not going to do it in a...
And I don't even think it's pushing on
No, but we live in a society now that everyone gets mad when someone like that... Now, again, I was raised in a Catholic household, right? And I lean more towards those beliefs.
Yeah.
In general, I do believe in positivity. I believe in karma, so I believe in a little bit of everything. But here's the thing with what pisses me off, and again, this is not to be political, this is not to be rude, but like he's allowed that. He's allowed that. He's allowed that.
Of course.
Because when someone goes up at the Oscars or Emmys or whatever it is and says something about something else, and again, this is not me directing it towards a certain type of
party
program or party or anything.
Like right.
It's just in general, when people get these speeches, they're allowed to talk about what they want to talk about.
Of course, yeah.
He's allowed to say that. If you have a problem with that, then you are part of the problem of the fact that you're too sensitive over the fact that we're allowed these opinions. Because I've said this a billion times, and I love to reiterate it, because just because you're a party does not make you that person. Just because you like certain policies does not make you a bad person. Just because you like this does not make you a racist or a liberal or a Democrat or a Republican or an anti-Semitic. None of that is the case. Right? And I will get out in front of it because I very vocally said it on the podcast. I am a huge Kanye West fan. Mm-hmm. Right? He is an asshole. I hate what he's doing. Musically, he will always be someone I love and I respect, because I will, as much as this is going to sound fucked up and I don't want to get canceled for it, right? Mm-hmm. Michael Jackson was not a great person either. Right. People still love his music. Right. Kanye is not a great person. As I've always stated, I love that he is so open-minded. Correct. But when he bites himself in the ass is when he does this. Now, I will sit here right now and 1,000 million billion bajillion % denounce anti-Semitism, racism, ignorance. Right. Because part of the problem, like we've said on this podcast, with the freedom of speech, I love freedom of speech. I love that we are able to say and think and do what we want. Yeah. But there is that line that gets crossed where then it becomes a problem. Because, as you've seen, we are living in a society where people are so gullible and so invested in certain things, and everyone is, I don't want to say weaker minded, right? Mm-hmm. Easier manipulated, or consumerism, right? Consumerism in general. People are more, so the African American child that loves Kanye West, that looks up to him and sees him doing this, how do you think that makes them feel? Right. The white guy that loves Kanye West, that again, I've said it on the pod, I'm like, I'll always support him. That's my guy. I will always stand with him. How do you think that makes me look now? Because I'm like, this is terrible.
Right, and again, this is a disservice to a lot of people.
And this is not me trying to sit here and be like, oh my God, feel bad for me. This is not me trying to get canceled. This is not me trying to do anything. Yeah. But I'm sitting here and saying, like, bro, like, I do not mess with this. I'm actually not even kidding. I've gotten rid of a lot of the stuff that I have of his. Like, I've gotten rid of a lot of it. Not gotten rid of it. I've sold it. Make my money. I've got a wedding to pay for. Got to do what I got to do. Yeah. But listen, I will always love certain things he does, and I will always love certain parts of his career. But again, that's when I'll put my foot down and be like, when you're being anti-Semitic or racist, that's when you're being an asshole. I agree. You can sit there and make a comment like there's good in everybody and be done with it. Yeah. You can say that. Oh, there should be good in everyone. As much as I personally don't agree with that to a degree, because there are just certain people that are terrible human beings and monsters, a.k.a. Adolf Hitler. Mm-hmm. Monster. Right. No good in that man. No good at all. No. Right? Yeah. But you can make a generalized statement, and that's been the one thing Kanye's always been very bad at. He makes these generalized statements instead of saying, I don't like the way the music industry is ran, he points it at Jewish people.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that, you know? So that's where, for me, I'm getting out in front of it. I just want to make this very vocal. Like, I don't support what he's doing. I don't support the nonsense he's spewing. I'm not subscribing to his stuff right now. I'm not subscribing to his items. I'm good on that.
Yeah.
You know, you won't see me wearing Yeezys for a little bit, so don't worry. Like, it's just, you know, and it's disgusting to me because it's like, bro, like, I'm a white middle-class dude that has always tried to be, like, a good person to people.
Right.
And when I say that my favorite artist is Kanye, always people are like, oh, that's crazy. Like, he's kind of like a little crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I've always liked that he's a little crazy because I think some of the smartest people, these geniuses, are a little bit disconnected from the real world. Mm-hmm. People like Elon, people like him, they're like not how you would expect these people to be.
Right.
But it's when it becomes that, when it's like, oh, okay. And I won't call you batshit crazy because I don't love when people say you're crazy, right? Like, I don't love that because it's not that. You're just a bad person.
Yeah.
You know, and he's being a terrible person. He's being a terrible human being. And for someone that, again, going back to the God thing, it's really just terrible to see because it's like, bro, I sat and died on a hill of like, yo, he made a gospel album. He made a Jesus album. And it was awesome. I could sit there with my family and be like, oh, like, you know, this is the direction he wants to go now. Mm-hmm. And now he's this side of the coin. And I'm like, oh, this is not the PR stunt I thought you'd be pulling in 2022, 2023, you know? Yeah. So I just wanted to get out there and say it because it's really, it's super frustrating. It's super aggravating.
It's definitely bothersome, especially I'm sure for you.
Bro, this is like my favorite person. All I wanted to do was listen to his music all the time. I wanted to listen to him at my wedding. Like, I wanted people to I wanted the band I have coming to play his music. Now there's a great chance I can't. Yeah. And it's like, I'm not going to subscribe to not listening to his music ever again or stuff like that, but like I am very much taking some time away where I'm like, bro, like I don't want to hear from you or deal with you right now because it's just going to make me think of the idiotic. It's just I don't want and like I don't want to support it. Like I don't want to put backing behind him when it's doing that because I have friends that are like putting this stuff up and it's aggravating and it's depressing for them and it's bothering them and it's like I want to show you support with it. So like I don't want to sound like I've been radio silent. I don't want to sound like any of that, but you know, that's fucked. So I'm in front of that. Back to my list, John Wick.
Oh, I forgot to even add John Wick to it.
John Wick, Indiana Jones, Creed 3, and Barbie are all on mine.
I forgot to put that as an honorable mention.
So Creed, I've always liked the Creed series, but I've never been... I won't say liked. I've always really enjoyed them, but like it's not on my top 5. Now, my top 5, I have one that's sitting outside of the top 5 that I know is on your list for a fact, but it's a Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I think it's going to be great. I hope it's obviously as good as the first one because first one's fantastic. Yeah. But it's got really big shoes to fill.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like huge shoes to fill. Yeah. So I'm very excited to see what they do, and I'm excited to see the direction they go in. But it's sitting out on the top 5 because of 2 other Marvel movies for me that are there.
Okay.
And now one of them is probably going to be a lot of people like, I'm not interested, but I'll say it in a second.
Okay. All right. So. My 3 honorable mentions, Dune Part 2 is on there as an honorable mention. Believe me, I'm extremely excited for it, but there's a lot more I'm excited for. Wonka, also with Timothée Chalamet. Chalamet. I think we're going to get a dark story of Wonka. I swear to God, I think we are.
Okay.
I think we are. I don't know.
I don't mind it. I'm fine with it, bro.
I just have a weird feeling of that. And
then finally tie in with Bullet Train.
What?
Or with Snowpiercer. Sorry.
Oh,
the conspiracy theory that they're going to finally tie it in with Snowpiercer.
Wow.
Chris Evans comes out at the end.
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, my God.
And then my last honorable mention is Blue Beetle, which is a DC movie that got promoted from streaming to theaters because apparently it's seeming pretty good right now in the eyes of the studio. But like we mentioned before, who knows what they're doing with the universe, so it might not even matter. All right. How about I do my first 3, you do your first 3, and then do it. Okay. My number 5, people may make fun of me for this, but I don't give a shit. I'm extremely excited for it. What?
Barbie.
It is Barbie. Barbie, I am so excited for.
Great casting
with Margot, obviously, but you also have people like Will Ferrell, who's playing like the business guy chasing Barbie
Did you see Spirited, by the way?
I have
my
not.
ADD is going to kick in right now.
No.
Pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, pretty
It's
good.
like
It
the most
does take a really
expensive
dark.
Christmas movie.
Does take a really dark turn
Well,
at
it's a
one
Christmas
point.
Carol. It's supposed to.
Yeah,
It's gonna
but
be
like
dark.
really dark at one second. Where I'm like, I did not see that. Like it was fun for 90% of it, and then that happened. I was like, okay, all right, well, back on topic.
Yeah, what do you call it? Just extremely excited for Barbie. I think
Yes.
it's going to make fun of itself. I just think it's going to be a good movie, and they've been working on it for a while. And Gosling's in it as well. Love
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
Love Gosling.
So, yeah. My number 4 is Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan. Love Christopher Nolan, and we got a stacked cast. I'm actually...
Unreal cast.
Unreal cast. I'm very happy that Cillian Murphy is actually getting his first,
main
star
besides
role.
Besides Peaky Blinders.
Besides the show, but a movie-wise.
Yeah, but Peaky Blinders has a cult-like following,
I know,
movie
it does.
to a degree.
It does.
So
you're right.
But I agree. That's awesome for him. He definitely deserves it. He's a phenomenal actor. As we've talked about, him as Dr. Doom would be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Him as Dr. Doom would be so cool.
Yeah.
But we just sit here and make conspiracy theories all day. So we're gonna. But if it's anything like I was right on Suicide Squad. I could hit on a couple.
You could hit on a couple.
I got a couple right on Suicide Squad.
And Jon Snow coming back.
Yeah,
brought that one up too.
We're the boys. We're the boys.
And Robert Downey's in it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy about that too.
It's such a good fucking cast.
Good cast.
It's on my list, but I'll tell you where it is in a second.
My number 3, and then we can move on to your 5, 4, and 3. My number 3 is the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Okay.
I am a sucker for a good video game movie. I really am.
Oh, you love it.
I love Sonic 1 and 2.
Yep.
I thought they were fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, this Mario movie
looks so good though. It looks
fantastic.
It looks so good.
It looks so good. And I'll tell you what, back to the Chris Pratt thing. Do love Chris Pratt.
Yep.
But I do still think they made a bad choice in his voice casting.
Yeah, but you know what? We'll see after the movie. If it's a fun movie
They've been
and it's
hiding his voice, to be fair, in the trailers.
Yeah,
we really haven't heard much yet.
And you know what? Look, part of it was probably Nintendo sitting there and be like, bro, why are we not going to cast Chris Pratt?
He's one of the
hottest actors in Hollywood. So why are you not going to, right?
Correct.
Because think about it. There's not really an actor in Hollywood that you do a voice acting and be like, oh, that's the guy.
Right.
This might be a hot take, but I would love Danny DeVito as him.
I would have
loved Danny DeVito as him. I think it would have been a little bit.
One of the
I know. I'm surprised he's not
characters,
anyone.
Yeah.
I think Danny DeVito would have been so funny. I do think his voice might have gotten a little bit
raspier.
Two of the older, they might have thought it that way.
Yeah.
Because again, if you're gonna have him and Charlie Day, also for us Always Sunny fans, it would have been fucking
That would have been great.
amazing.
That would have been great.
The memes behind it would have been so fucking good.
Yeah.
But that when I looked at it, I'm like I would have loved Danny DeVito as it. I thought Danny DeVito as him would have been so good.
Agreed.
But down the line, who knows? Maybe you could do it and completely switch up the voice.
And I just want to say my little theory about the Mario movie right now.
I'm all in.
I think it's an interesting take that Peach isn't getting captured in the first movie. It's Luigi.
Okay.
I think Peach will get captured in the second movie.
Yeah.
And that I'm just really not a theory. I'm just mapping out my own trilogy of this. Third movie, they do an adaptation of Super Mario Galaxy.
I think Luigi's going to get decapitated and it's going to be a whole woke thing.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not. That's actually not going to
I know, but I don't even like that you said that.
It's a whole politics.
Oh, and then
it's a political thriller.
Then there will be a spin-off movie with Luigi, aka Luigi's Mansion. Boom.
I mean, bro,
I'm making the roadmap for you, Illumination and Nintendo.
Nintendo, give me Mario Baseball or you're the worst.
Sponsor the pod.
Number one, sponsor the pod, Nintendo. Number one. Number two, I would love it. I mean, the Mario Kart thing in the trailer was so cool. That was such an. I know you did. Of course you did. I know. You're a whore for that.
I was shocked that they even added Mario Kart and Rainbow Road in, and I'm like, what?
I watched your video. I was like, as soon as that happened, it was like, hey, Rainbow Road.
It was
like a kid in Christmas.
Like nostalgia, man.
Of course,
and the
bro.
Easter eggs are going to be incredible.
They're going to be so good.
It's going to be great.
Yep.
It's going to be great. Anyway.
Oh my god, that's amazing. So that was your 3 or 4?
That was my 3.
Okay, cool. So mine are Quantumanium is my 5.
Okay.
And that's because I've always enjoyed Ant-Man. I think Paul Rudd is amazing. There was a report today that apparently Paul Rudd is confirmed to be in other movies down the line. So apparently he won't be dying in Quantumanium.
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors as Kang is so good. I really love him. I think Loki. Did you see the leaked Loki stuff?
No.
There was a Loki trailer online that was leaked.
I saw the Loki trailer.
Yes,
for season
leaked,
2.
Yeah, the leaked one.
I saw that.
So good.
Yeah,
looks
I
crazy.
Agree. It does.
Looks crazy.
It looks good. I will say I'm nervous for Quantumania that it's not going to be as good as people are expecting.
I'm nervous about it, but I think they kind of are like, all right, we got to put the nail in the coffin with Ant-Man, so I think they have to really do it up. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That's the first one. My number 4 is Guardians.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's maybe higher on your list if I had to guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Guardians. It's going to be unreal. It's really going to be awesome. And then my third is Killers of the Flower Moon, which is the new Scorsese movie. I was actually just reading about it, and it's Leo, De Niro, and it's directed by, like I said, Scorsese. So I'm all in for that.
Did they release a trailer?
No trailer yet. I think they originally pulled it because I think they're doing it to, what was I reading? Cannes. They're waiting to put it at Cannes. They're premiering it at Cannes there. So that's the big thing with that. So that's my number 3. My top.
I'm surprised I didn't even hear about that movie yet. That's a pretty.
I saw something about it a while ago, and then I was reading I was reading this like larger list of it, and I was like, okay, that definitely makes sense.
For sure. Okay. All right. My number 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's my only MCU movie on this list. I think Guardians 3 is just going to be amazing. I mean, James Gunn is back, baby, and I can't wait to see what he does with this final installment of Guardians, or at least this arc of the Guardians. I do think Rocket's dying, unfortunately, but it's going to make that movie just that much more powerful, and I can't wait for that. It's just a theory, but it's a lot of people's theory.
I would love to see Mantis and Drax die.
I don't think Mantis is going to. I think Drax.
No, I don't think so either. Dying. Because isn't Mantis Paul? What's his name's brother now? Star Lord's brother.
Yes,
is
correct.
that? Yeah, I didn't watch. I didn't watch the holiday special.
It was so
I know.
Cute.
I heard it's so good. I know
good.
you've said you've loved it. But
I loved it.
I haven't watched it yet, but like I think it would be like a good way for Drax to go out. But like also you don't need Mantis to die because like Mantis, I think there's more to be discovered with her character.
Agreed.
But like please kill off Nebula.
Nebula. Yeah, I could see
Nebula, but Nebula was literally
sacrificing herself for the new Gamora.
Nebula was one of the main characters in
Endgame.
In Endgame,
I
man.
know.
Come on,
I know.
That aggravated me so much because
it was weird that they chose her to stay.
I get it though. I get it because like again, it's the sibling of it's one of Thanos' kids. So yeah,
she was a big plot point as far as bringing past Thanos into the present time, like stuff like that. But
just like when I was sitting there, like I do like Nebula's character, don't get me wrong, but like it's like if we're complaining about these, like please don't get rid of Rocket in comparison. I mean, bro,
I'll be bawling.
I'm gonna be so
if Rocket dies.
Oh, if Rocket
we're really
dies,
gonna go into his past too, like how he was created.
I know I'm gonna be so fucked up.
I know. It's gonna be a deep one. I think
it's gonna be so bad. But
do you want me to do my number 1 or you want to do your number 2?
I'll go really quickly. My number 2 is Oppenheimer.
Okay.
So we talked about it. Oppenheimer, I'm really excited for. It looks amazing visually. It's gonna be awesome. The cast is gonna be great. Always get concerned with these big budget movies that have a ton of cast, and I mean its runtime I think is long.
Yeah,
I'm into the strong belief of a longer movie. I love a longer movie. Yeah. I'm fine with it as long as you give me a good cast, a good story. I will sit in a movie theater for 5 hours. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit because the other thing people don't understand. It's like we've become so consumed with like now, quick. That's all I want to see.
Right.
When these movies are good and they're long, I'm going to the movies to watch a movie.
Yeah.
But to make fun of people, you'll sit on your couch for 7 hours and watch a show straight.
Yeah. Right.
But you won't go to the movies for 4. You know what I mean?
And look, contradictory.
I get it, right? You don't want to go to the movies for 4 hours. You'd rather be at your house. You can go to the bathroom. You can shower during it. You can eat during it. Yeah, fine.
There's its positive.
But then wait for the movie to come out to VHS or
stream.
VHS.
You said VHS.
Fuck?
Wow.
What year am I in right now?
Yeah, definitely not 2022 or the upcoming 2023.
2003 was a great year for all of us.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it's just like I don't like when people say that because it's like, oh, the movie was too long.
Yeah.
Like that was always when people used to say that with The Revenant.
Right.
I love that movie, but it's not meant to be a movie where there's dialogue. It's not meant to be a movie where it's this. It's supposed to be visually unreal, and it's supposed to be a flushed out masterpiece of what it is, which is almost a love letter to that genre of like cinematography in a good script of it. Minimal talking, great shots, awesome views, everything like that. I love that movie. I will die on that hill. Good. I love Tenet because it's longer. It's more like thought-provoking. The visuals of it are great. Yeah. But yes, of course, there's flaws with it. But it's like when people are like, oh, I won't go to the movies for that long and shit like that. Like, Kayla loved Black Panther when she saw it. Yeah. Like, you know, she didn't want to do a long MCU Batman. She saw Batman with
very long movie.
She didn't want to watch that. She's like, oh my God, we're going to be here forever. She watched Endgame, another long one. She was like, oh my God. And she enjoyed all of them. I'm like, see, like, when you do some of these longer movies, they're worth it at the end, you know?
I think people only complain that it's long when it isn't that good.
I think people complain just to complain.
That too.
It doesn't matter quality of it. No offense, but we don't live in a society where everyone's really good movie critics lately.
Oh, right.
No offense, and again, you're allowed to like what you like. No problem, no beef. That's all good.
But would you disagree with me with what I just said?
I would disagree only to the fact that, like, yeah, like people will say it when it's super long, but I think a lot of people will like when I'm like, oh,
but
like,
that's not. I'm not saying that it was that long that makes it bad.
I talk to a lot of people.
Don't like that it's that long because it's actually.
I talk to a lot of people that did not want to see Batman because of the length. So that's where my argument stems from, right? Like, gotcha. I talked to a lot of people. Like, I did not tell Kayla how long Endgame was when we went to go see it until we sat down.
Right.
And she hated me for it, understandably so.
Sure.
But she enjoyed the movie. Yep. Same thing with Black Panther. She's like, how long is this movie? I'm like, haha. But you know what I mean? So it's like, again, I tell people, I'm like, yo, you got to see Batman. It's so good. They're like, oh, nice. Like, did you like it? Oh, yeah, I loved it. But, oh, is it long? Yeah, it's definitely long. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right.
You know, so
it turns some people off.
Exactly.
That's all.
So that's what aggravates me with it. But that's my take there. So
you did say two.
So Oppenheimer was my two. Yep.
All right, my number one in my top 5 most anticipated movies of 2023, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The first movie was so good. It was such a surprise.
Top 5 Marvel movie.
Easily. Top 5 superhero movie maybe. I think it's up there. My brother believes it's the best superhero movie ever.
I thought you were going to say the worst. I was
no.
Here right now.
And I am very excited. You brought up a great point before. Has some big shoes to fill, for sure. Mm-hmm. It might not be as good as the first one, but I'm expecting it to actually be a lot better than the first one. I think. Yes, I have some very high hopes for this. And that might kill me in the long run.
Yeah.
Once I see it. But I think they're doing several different new animation styles. That's why it's took so long to even get this movie out. And the story's going to be fantastic. I'm going
to make a comment that I don't fully agree with even saying to myself, and like, I don't want this to come off the wrong way. I don't know if I could ever have a comic book related not comic book related, sorry, I didn't mean to word it that way. I could never see a non-live action movie being my favorite of a genre.
Interesting. Okay.
So I could never say that this is the best Marvel movie. It's a masterpiece. It's in my top 5 hands down. Mm-hmm. But like, I would probably go and watch Endgame again in comparison. And I think it's more because of me.
You just like more live action rather than cartoon.
Bro, you're talking to the guy that loves Clone Wars. You know what I mean? So I'm not someone that doesn't like that genre.
Right, yeah.
But what I'm saying is I think I love the little bit of realism that is still there with it. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but when Endgame is that Tony Stark drives up in an actual car that, you know, is a modern day car, you know, things like that. Like, they're at the shawarma spot after Age of Ultron. Like,
no, the first Avengers.
Yes, sorry. But you know what I mean? So it's like, I always love that still, like, ooh, okay, like, I could still see this like, The Walking Dead, I've liked it so much for so long because it isn't a cartoon where I'm like, oh, like, that could happen, you know? But
I get
that is not to say that it doesn't deserve it. If it's the best of the movies and the best of the genre, I'll always be like, oh, it's the best. I can't say it.
Yeah.
To me, though, like, I would always keep it top 5, top 4, top 3, whatever. It's probably my 5. It's probably my 5 or 4. If I broke it down in all superhero movies, probably 5 to 10 easily.
I think
because I
think I'm right there with you on that.
Because it would be some kind of variation of Batman. It would be some kind of a variation of Infinity War, Endgame. It'd be some kind of variation of
an X-Men movie. Days of Future Past, Logan.
Logan, not Days of Future Past, Logan.
Logan is
It would
great,
maybe, for me, again, Batman.
Yeah.
Because I loved Batman. It'd probably be something there. Yeah, but, like, you know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah, absolutely.
ultimately, that's what it would be. And then you'd put that, again, probably 5, 6. But I don't know if I could ever be like, that's one undisputed. But, again, it's all genre-based. If someone likes cartoons and anime and that more, I 100% see how they're going to have that. Akira's going to be the best show they've ever watched.
Right.
Or the best movie they've ever seen. I think Akira's a movie, right?
I think so.
I think it's a show, too, maybe. I don't
know.
Everyone always raves about it, so I always bring up Akira, because I'm like, I've heard it's, like, the anime.
My only argument with what you said, though, horror movie, okay? Horror movie. But it's a cartoon, but it's still horror. Mm-hmm. Do you still add that in your category for best horror movies?
Like what, for example?
I don't think there is an example.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, if there's not an example, then maybe. But, like, again, if there's a good enough horror movie, sure. But, like, I think the other problem with horror, though, I mean, you kind of, you soft toss this one to me. I'm going to absolutely
go ahead.
Fucking demolish this ball out of the park.
Go ahead.
Aaron Judge style. Why is horror the way it is? Because there's realism to it.
Oh, you're right.
You know what I mean? So when you're watching a horror movie, part of you is like, fuck, if Mike Myers was here right now. Right. When we sat in this basement 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and we watched Mike Myers right there with the TV in the corner, me, you, Nick, Pat, Jake, all the whole gang. When we sat here and watched it, we were terrified. Even though it was a terrible movie, we were scared because we were like, fuck, if Mike Myers came in that back door right now, what would we do?
It makes the scenario more
real. So there's a part of
people.
Exactly. So, like, you wouldn't watch Into the Spider-Verse and be like, yo, if Spider Noir came out right now, you know, as much as it'd be fun, like, oh my God, that'd be so funny to be in that universe of all this. There's that small part of realism where you're like, oh my God, if I was falling off the Avengers Tower, what would I do?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Avengers Tower's in Midtown. Not really, but when they put it in there.
Yes.
So that's like my argument with it there, you know.
Fair enough. All right, that was my number one, Across the Spider-Verse.
One, Dune. Dune
One
2.
is Dune.
Dune Part 2.
Part 2.
Can't wait. Gonna be awesome. Cast. They're adding Florence
You got
Pugh.
Christopher Walken in there.
I know, but they're adding Florence Pugh.
I know, I heard
Florence
that too.
Pugh is going to be great.
She's
Everyone
great.
in that movie is so good. If you haven't seen the first Dune, I recommend watching it. It is so good. If you're a movie person, watch it.
You'll appreciate it.
If you like that kind of sci-fi, if you don't like sci-fi, you might not like it, but you might like it for like the action and like the whatever of it. There are lulls in the movie, but because a longer movie. But it's also, you have to understand, it's building a cohesive story. It's building a story that is going to be over 3 movies. Yeah, and I can't wait. I'm just so excited. I don't even want to sit here and like die on the hill of getting crazy into it because it is just, I am so excited. I think it's going to be so good.
Yeah.
I think Timothée Chalamet is exactly what we expected him to be, and a really good actor.
I agree.
And I think he's going to absolutely kill it. And I think the next one's going to be Dennis Villanueva is the director.
Yes.
He's absolutely just done such a good job.
I agree.
So, yeah, I'm so excited and I can't wait. But that's my one.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that is our list for our top 5 most anticipated movies of 2023. Last thing I just want to say before we sign off is Happy Holidays.
Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's as well.
Yep.
And hey, make New Year's resolutions. It's good for you. It's good for your mind.
Yes.
And you never know. You could accomplish them in the next upcoming year.
Yep.
Luke, thank you for being on the podcast.
Of course,
the
always
last
a pleasure.
one of the year.
Yes, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
And we'll see you next month with the new podcast. But until then, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at Frank_videos. And yes, with all that being said, have a wonderful day and peace out.
See ya.
College
Thoroughly enjoy
days,
this
did
one.
you have wine in college? At your college days, or was just strictly beer and
It was mainly beer, but I will say my 2 friends worked at a liquor store nearby.
right?
And they were giving away these sangria like juice boxes.
Oh God, yeah.
Away because they were actually expired, so they weren't going to sell them. So they was like, does anyone want these? And my boy was like, yep. Graham, I swear to God, it was like 12 boxes of these, and we're talking like 20 in a box sort of deal. We finished majority of them in one night.
Did you really? Wow.
Yeah.
You must have had some headache.
I'm going to put oh my God, it was terrible.
I can't even
Terrible.
imagine.
I'm going to put up a picture right now of that very fateful night. And that it'll perfectly explain it, and I'll show you afterwards too. it perfectly explains how the night went. We were singing, dancing, had a great time. That actually might have been the very first time I had any type of wine.